All right, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Holohan. I'm the Public Relations Manager for District 40, and with us tonight we have David Hill, DTM, who's our Club Growth Director, and we are going to be talking about Club Coach, Mentor, and Sponsor. And before we get into the specific agenda, which Dave will go over here, I want to thank you for joining on short notice. We apologize about any inconvenience this may have caused, but we did put out a schedule of Wednesday webinars, which we typically hold between 7:30 and 9 p.m. at this time. We're really excited about kicking off a new series of Wednesday webinars over the next several weeks, and we'll get some more information out to those people who need to know. But we thought tonight everybody needed to know about Club Coach, Sponsor, Mentor. So we hope that you'll find this educational, inspirational, and maybe even help you get towards your ALS or your DTM. So before David goes over the agenda, I'm going to record this session because I know it's on short notice, so I will record it. So be very careful about your your speech, if you will. I am going to mute the lines for now to let David go over the information, but we will have opportunities for dialogue during and after the presentation. So any technical issues that you have, please let me know. Speak up. Please use the chat. That probably is the most effective way to do that. I will be monitoring chat for David, and I'll go over the technical issues with you offline. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to David, and he can kind of go over a little bit more about what he's going to talk about tonight. Over to you, David.
Thank you, Scott. Good evening, everyone. I'm hoping everyone can hear me fine.
Yep.
Thank you again for coming out. As Scott said, I know that the schedule has changed a little bit, but what I wanted to do this evening for everyone is just to give you a little bit of knowledge of what a club coach, a club mentor, a club sponsor, what their responsibilities are, what we're looking for in those, and to see if anyone is interested in any one of these roles. The biggest thing that we have going on right now is we don't have enough of any of the three roles. And the trio and myself, we decided that this would be a good way to inform everyone of what this is, what these roles consist of, and then from that point, get a list of all those who are interested. Now, I do know some people have reached out to me via email and have expressed their interest, and I do thank you for that. There will be more information / training to come in the future, but like I said, today is just a little bit about what each of the roles consist of, what we're looking for, and I'll answer any questions that anyone has. Okay. Today we're going to start with club coach. As you can see, a club coach task is similar to a doctor's job in several ways. And actually, that is a very true statement, because what a coach is doing is you're going to come into that club, kind of observe what's happening, listen to what they have going on, and kind of make a diagnosis, and then go from there. Basically, you're going to build the rapport with the club leaders and mentors. You're not coming in there just saying, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, this is what my club does. What we're looking for people who can first go in, listen, observe, and then offer suggestions, but ultimately let the club come up with their own solutions. You're going to observe and analyze the club environment, then assist the club in generating solutions. Help the club develop a plan with goals for improvement. And actually what ends up happening a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, is that some clubs could be resistant to having a coach, and we may not have people come in with the title as a coach. We may have you come in more as an experienced member who will help the club initially with their moments of truth and then go from there. But you will still also get credit as a club coach. Now, here's one of the biggest things, and that's enable the club to achieve goals. Usually when a club needs a coach, it is because they have 12 members or less. Most of the time, that is their biggest issue, is membership. What I'm looking for is for those individuals who can think outside the box and can help the club with the growth of membership. The biggest thing that I've seen as a coach, as a division director, and as currently the club growth director is that we tend to go in there and throw a bunch of ideas to the club, and then they get lost and they're like, I don't know. Or we get a whole bunch of other Toastmasters to sign up to help the club reach their member goal, but then the next renewal, those members fall off. I call those ghost members, and we don't want those anymore. What we want are real live members, members who can sit down and not only achieve the goals that they are looking for when they join the club, but also to help bring life into that club, bring new ideas into that club. The days of just kind of having people sign up for the sake of getting the membership, those days are over with. We don't want to do that anymore. So we want to instill enthusiasm, vitality, and a sense of responsibility for the club's future. And that just goes back to what I was telling everyone earlier. Now, what is club coaching? How does that benefit you as the individual? It will help you develop team building skills, because actually you are going to work not only with the club leadership, but also with the club. Ultimately, you have to first have the buy-in from the leadership, but then you also have to have the buy-in from the club. This will help you if you decide to pursue leadership over and above either being a club officer, an area director, division director, hitting into the district level and beyond. So you definitely want to be able to have good team building skills. You want to expand your leadership experience. Most of you have had some sort of leadership experience either on the club level or beyond, and this will also help you. Now, here's what I think is one of the most important things. You want to increase proficiency as a facilitator and a negotiator. I think a lot of times we forget how to negotiate or facilitate what's going on. We just tend to go in, and when I say we, I'm talking about all the members of District 40. We tend to just go in and just kind of throw things at them and think it's going to work. We have to be able to really negotiate our ideas with the members, but also understand that we have to be able to facilitate what's happening too. Develop diplomacy skills. That's a very important one. Share your expertise. How have you been successful either as an officer, a club officer, or beyond? What have you done in your club to help your club grow, if any? So these are some of the things that you want to be able to share. When I became a club coach a couple of years ago, I actually ended up coaching 2 clubs. But I was fortunate, one, to have a good mentor who kind of showed me what was going on. and how to be a coach. And I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen, when you come in as a coach, you want to kind of give a little bit of your knowledge and expertise to those members, but you want to make sure that you inspire the members to come up with their own solutions. You're not telling them how to become a successful club, you're just guiding them into becoming a club. But like I was saying, when I became a club coach, I took a little bit of what I learned from my other coach, and I just put it all together into how I operate, and I just helped that club along. I sat down and talked. I found out what the biggest issues were. We worked on having open houses. We worked on getting people motivated into achieving their educational awards and just pumping life back into that club. Now, I'll say I was fortunate. The two clubs I did, both of them simultaneously, one club became distinguished, the other club became President's Distinguished. I don't want people to think that, hey, listen, that's going to happen every single time. As a club coach, this is an assignment that you will have up to 2 years with an optional third year based on that club growth director's determination at that time. One of the benefits that I would like everyone to know for the club coach, and it's only for this year, should you decide to become a club coach, you will be able to not only get credit as a club coach, but also credit as a district leader. So it's a 2-for-1 all the way up to June 30th, 2020. For those who are interested in speaking, like who are in the speech contest, you will be able to do that also. Well, there's a lot of benefits currently to be a club coach, but please understand, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get that club to distinguished or higher no later than, we're saying, around between June 1st and June 15th to be on the safe side. Toastmasters International has not given us a confirmed date of when the cutoff day is. You're investing in the future of Toastmasters. We all join Toastmasters for various reasons. For those who are interested in these additional roles, who have been either a club officer or above that, you have bought into Toastmasters. We need to continue to buy into Toastmasters. We need to continue to pump life into those clubs that are struggling at this time. And then lastly, you'll earn credit towards the path towards your DTM. Scott, if you want to open up or unmute everyone, I'll take questions about the club coach for now.
That's a oh my God, that's a horrible horse race. Oh,
hey guys, if you're not
nightmare board.
All right, so I guess we'll. All right, David. Yeah, I guess I put that into chat. If you have a question, but put it in the chat. If that's what I put on the in the chat box. If you have a question on club coaching, you can put it in the chat box. If you can't think of one right now, we'll take it towards the end. But or if you want, you may be able to go and unmute yourself. But at this point in time, we'll just keep going. But if you have any questions, please use the chat box, or if you, yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. If you're calling in on the phone, just write down your question and make sure you get to ask it towards the end.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay.
All right, next we're going to go to Club Mentor. So Club Mentor is just like being a regular mentor, but you're doing it on a broader scale. So as a club mentor, you're going to share your knowledge and expertise with a club that doesn't have experience. Basically, the club mentor, hey Scott, can you mute that out for me?
Yep, I think I just did. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, the club mentor, when you are coming in, you're going to come in immediately after that club charters. What we're looking for are for two people who will come in and help that club for a minimum of 6 months. That's what TI is offering everyone to get credit as a club mentor. The district would love for those people to stay on for a year, because if you leave in that 6 months afterwards, they're still growing, they're still trying to learn. And we feel that it would be a lot better if that person could stay on for a year. And there's some incentives to it. Now, primarily what you're going to do is make sure that the meetings are run correctly, but also you're going to assume some of the more difficult or challenging roles until the members become confident enough to take them, such as the Toastmaster, the evaluator, and or general evaluator. You're also going to make sure that throughout that time frame that you're keeping the clubs informed of what's happening within the area, division, and or district, such as TLIs, club speech contests. As you know, we have our fall ceremonies coming up for divisions B, C, E, and H. So those are some of the things that you may want to stay on top of so that you can pass on to the new members of the club. So you're mentoring new Toastmasters Club and is similar in many ways, is similar in many ways to mentoring a single person. Okay. And mentors are the advisors and tutors for the new club and have a great effect on the degree to which the new club succeeds. Now, as some of you may or may not know, most clubs will usually do pretty well their first year. It's the second year where we tend to see that drop off because, like I said, after that 6 months, they're still confused about things such as they may have chartered in August, excuse me, and since they chartered in August, they paid for 6 months, which means that their dues are not due or their membership dues will end in February. What is confusing a lot of times to these new clubs, ladies and gentlemen, is that they still have to renew in September. It is just prorated. A lot of times what ends up happening, we're not giving that information to the members of that new club, and they're under the impression that they don't have to renew until February the following year. These are just some of the nuances that we have to make sure that we relay to the new clubs so that they can stay on track to be successful.
Hey, David, Felicia had a question about how often club mentors are supposed to be attending the club meetings. I'm not sure if you'll attend or if you'll share that.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's a great question, Felicia. We would like the mentors to attend every meeting. Now, we do know realistically that's not going to happen, but we would definitely like to have at least one mentor attend each meeting.
And
in the beginning,
yeah. And there can be two mentors. You can be two mentors assigned, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. In the beginning, at least for the first month or two, we really strongly encourage the mentors to attend each meeting because, again, you're going to be handling those more difficult roles, the Toastmaster role, the evaluation role. As we build up the new members, they're learning how to do the timer, the all-counter grammarian, the topic master, and once they build up their confidence, then we could ease them into being a evaluator and then ultimately become the Toastmaster. So that's one of the reasons why we want you guys to be there as much as possible. Like I said before, you're going to share your expertise. Develop your capacity to translate values and strategies into productive actions. Let's see, I just saw a question. What was that question, Scott?
It said something about Kenyatta just asked this, would you recommend being added to the communication stream of the club?
Definitely. Definitely. You want to make sure that the Vice President of Education and or Vice President of Membership keeps you in the loop so you know what's going on. There's a lot to being a club mentor. So we want you to be as open as possible and as knowledgeable about how meetings are ran, to be able to help the officers do their roles. Now, one of the good things is the trio is trying to get some of the more experienced clubs or the sponsored club to also kind of mentor in conjunction with the two club mentors. And that'll help you out a lot, because that way the club officers of the new club can reach out to the club officers of the experienced club, and they will be able to ask questions, share their knowledge and experience, and help that club thrive and hopefully become a much stronger club in a shorter amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to provide yourself as a valuable leader, or prove yourself as a valuable leader. Invest in the future of Toastmasters, which is the ongoing theme. Obtain fresh perspectives. Build team working skills. Apply leadership skills in new situations. And of course, earn credit towards the path to your Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Any more questions on Club Mentor? Now, I do want to say this before we get to any questions. The deadline for anyone who's interested in being a club mentor is going to be, for now, January 1st. It is 6 months. This is a 6-month commitment in order for you to receive your credit. We do have some clubs in the pipeline that should be chartering within the next 2 to 4 weeks. For those who are interested in being mentors, if there aren't any mentors assigned to it, we will get you into it. Now, I do want everyone to understand this. Most of the clubs tend to be corporate clubs, and most of those clubs meet in the afternoon, usually lunchtime, sometime between 11 and 1. If that won't work for you, we'll try to get you an evening club to help you out. But if maybe the mentor isn't something you might be interested in, consider the other two roles, either club coach, and we're about to go into the club sponsor role. Are there any questions, Scott?
Nope. I think there was just a clarification as far as the communications. When I was a club mentor, they added me to their Free Toast host site, and I didn't have to be a paid member for them to add me. But it kept me in the loop on agendas and communications.
Good point. Thank you.
Yep.
And then lastly, we're going to talk about club sponsor. Now, club sponsor, this role is truly vital in developing the club from a prospective club or an idea to a prospective club, and then from a prospective club to being chartered. Now, as you can see, a lot of things that TI is has said it's repeating itself for all three of the roles. You're going to get a chance to enhance your leadership skills, develop project management abilities, and to expand your marketing expertise. Now, a lot of times, a club or an organization may be interested in Toastmasters. There are some sponsors who will reach out to myself or to Toastmasters International and say, hey, my job is interested in starting a club. That's one way you could become a sponsor. Another way is that I'll get a lead from Toastmasters International, or someone will call me directly or contact me directly, and I'll start getting this club together. Another way is that I, myself, or our club extension chair, Kevin Voorhees, will reach out to you and say, hey, listen, we have a club, a prospective club. This is the day and time that they're potentially meeting right now. Are you interested in becoming a club sponsor? Now, as a sponsor, you're ultimately responsible for all the paperwork. So that would be forms 1 through 6B. You're also going to be responsible for making sure that the meetings are ran throughout the chartering process, which will mean it could go from the demo meeting to the regular Toastmasters meeting until we get at least 20 members and we can send the paperwork forward. So here are some of the things and your responsibilities. A few of them I've already went over. But you're going to organize the new club. You'll set up regular club meetings. You'll keep the district or the members informed of all district, division, and area events. Hypothetically, since we have our fall recognition ceremony, one of the things you would do is make sure to tell them, hey, listen, the division is hosting a fall recognition ceremony. We strongly encourage you to attend. You will give them the information and ensure that they come. Just like in December, we have our 2 district-sponsored TLIs and then the COT. So you want to make sure that you keep the members informed throughout the chartering process. And then lastly, you're going to complete the paperwork and plan the chartering presentation. So basically, like I said, you're going to make sure that all the forms are complete, and then you'll help out with the chartering party. You'll keep in close contact with the area director in the area that club is going to go into, along with the division director and the club extension chair. If for whatever reason I've taken the lead on it, then you'll keep me in the loop of what's going on. One of the biggest things that we want to make sure that happens is that once that club submits all the forms to TI, and TI charters them, I need to know that that club has been chartered or that the paperwork has been submitted so that I can be on the lookout for when that club's chartered. That way I can order their club banner and stand. We want to be able to get their banner and stand to them within a 2 to 4 week time span. So just make sure that you guys keep everyone in the loop, keep them informed of what's going on, what's happening during the chartering process. Now, in all 3 of the roles, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 people for each. So 2 people can be a sponsor, 2 people could be a coach, and 2 people could be a mentor. Everything, now for the club sponsor, we're trying to get the clubs chartered within a 60-day span. So that's the ultimate goal. Sometimes it may go a little longer, and it usually does for community clubs. But for corporate clubs, usually within somewhere between 2 weeks to 60 days, we could get that club chartered. So These are just some of the things that we'll talk about at a later date. Now, what I wanted to tell everyone, there is going to be 2 district-sponsored trainings, one in the Columbus area and one in the Cincinnati area for club coaches, sponsors, mentors. And we're also going to have a Wednesday webinar for those who cannot attend the district-sponsored events. And with that, I will take any questions or comments that anyone has.
Thank you, David. For those who want to ask a question, raise your hand in the chat box and I can unmute you, because there may be some background noise if I unmute everybody, and I don't want that. So if you do have a question, raise your hand. I'm not sure if I should go ahead and unmute everybody here, but let's see.
Well, we could try it.
Let's see what I can do here. I've unmuted everybody, so if you've got a question, I've unmuted all the lines, so go ahead and...
I do have a question.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Someone has a TV.
Okay, go ahead. I think caller... Oh, I'm sorry.
Like a portable one?
Okay, hold on. Someone has a TV or something in the background.
Okay, good.
If you are not speaking, can you make sure that your phone is muted? And if you do have a question and you have the TV on, can you please turn that off or possibly go into another room so everyone can hear your question?
Okay, I think I took care of the person who had that in the background, so go ahead. I believe there was a person who wanted to ask a question there.
Shirley Stallworth, Division A. May I speak?
Yeah, Shirley, go ahead. You're loud and clear.
Thank you. My first question is the role of club mentor and the role of club coach mutually exclusive from one another? By that I mean, can an organization have both a club coach and a club mentor within the same club?
No. So here's the thing. The club coach, and that's a good question. The club coach is going to come in when an existing club has 12 or fewer members. The club mentor is going to come in after a new club has chartered and will assist them and guide them for a minimum of 6 months to make sure that they understand the process of how to conduct a meeting and things like that.
Thank you. That answers my question. I do have one more question, if I may, please.
Sure, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
My second question is the application period for any of these roles January 1 of 2019? Does the application period begin January 1 of 2019? 2020, I'm so sorry, January 1 of 2020.
The application period, I'm a little confused. Do you mean you?
I heard someone say something when you were going over the club sponsor.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned a date of January 1 of 2019 for something about applying for either one of these roles, and so I need some clarification on that.
Oh, okay. So there's no application. What I was referring to is for the club mentor. If you want to get credit to be a club mentor, you would have to be assigned no later than January 1st, 2020 in order to get your 6 months in.
So if you were getting a DTM in the old pathway or in the old system, old education system, what David said is that you must be assigned to a club no later than January 1st as a mentor in order for you to qualify to get the mentor credit by the end of June 30th, 2020, because that's when the expiration date of getting your DTM in the older system expires.
Right. And my understanding is that in any of these roles, you cannot be a member of those specific clubs. Is that correct?
Only for club coach at the part of assignment.
Right.
So you cannot be a current member of a club in order if you want to be a club coach. However, if you join a club or if you are assigned a club coach for a club, then you, after your assignment, you can join their club as a member, as a paid member.
Got it. All right. Thank you very much. That concludes my questions.
Thank you.
For sponsor mentor, David, that there's no requirement for that. Is that correct?
Correct. Right. So, well, okay. So you can be, if you are a sponsor, you can essentially be a member. We can only take 3 existing members in a new club. The other 17 have to be brand new. That's one way. As far as the club mentor, I have to double check on that, but normally what ends up happening, that mentor is going to be an experienced Toastmaster, and usually they're not a member of that club. But it could be possible, maybe 4 people have worked on getting a club to get up and running, 2 people decide to be the mentor, 2 people decide to be the sponsor, and it could work that way. But let me just double check with TI on that one.
Shirley, we'll get back with you on that.
Thank you.
Any
Any
other
other questions?
Yeah, any other questions? Let me check the chat box here, see if anything came in. Okay, so Chris, I think you said you're interested in being a club coach.
No, I asked the question, but
Oh.
you answered it.
Okay.
I asked if you could be a coach for your home club. That was answered, so I understand that now. So my situation is I would just like to be a member, but or a mentor, but I'm running out of time.
Okay.
And
That's
okay, okay. So thank you, Chris. So here's my contact information. If you're interested in any of the roles, just shoot me a quick email, and then we'll have you on the list. Now, for those who are not trying to attain their DTM in this year under the legacy system, there's no cutoff time. You can be a club mentor at any time, you could be a club coach at any time, and you could be a club sponsor at any time. But the urgency is for those individuals who are looking to become or looking to get credit for their DTM in the legacy program. So I want to make sure that that was clear for everyone. If you're in the legacy program trying to get your DTM, then there is a little more sense of urgency. If you're trying to get your DTM in the pathways, we will get you something as soon as possible. So, was there a question?
What is your contact information?
It is. Oh, I'm sorry. If you called in,
it's right on the screen, actually. Yeah, if you called in, you probably don't see it.
I don't see it. I called in.
right, right. So if you called in, this is all one word, Club Growth Director at d40toastmasters.org. Again, for those who called in, my contact information is Club Growth Director, all one word, at d40toastmasters.org. And Scott, I think we had a question.
Yeah, so Felicia asked a really good question, which may require a little bit of research here. She says, what is the estimated number of clubs that are currently requiring mentors, sponsors, and coaches? So do you want me to, I can share the screen, David, if you'd like. I've got the answer actually up, not exactly, but I can go ahead. Let me see if I can share my screen here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but the answer to that question can be found on the website here that I'm showing. You should be able to see my screen. Can you see it? It just shows a dashboard.
You might want to expand it a little bit.
Okay. Let's see if I can do that.
Maybe
I
go
can,
up to the top where the big square is.
yeah, let me see if I can, maybe I can expand it a little bit or make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, because right now the screen is just
Hmm.
it's part.
Let me see
Go
if
all
I
the
can
way
go
up
down.
by the.
Let me go down and put it in my other, let me put it in my other screen and see if I can do it that way.
Okay.
Monitor, uh, like this here. How about that? Is that better?
No, it's actually worse than the first
Let me
one.
see if I can go back here. Crud. All right, that's not any better.
Well, we can see where it says clubs that need coaches.
Okay, so up the website that you want to go to, it's pretty easy to remember. It's reports and then the number 2.toastmasters.org, and reports 2 is one word. Again, reports, reports, the number 2.toastmasters.org, and then go into District 40 and then go into district summary. And then the district summary, you're going to have to scroll down and you'll get to a point here where it says clubs that need coaches. And it's by area and by district or division, I should say. And it shows all of the clubs that have 12 or fewer members. Again, 12 or fewer members are those clubs that are eligible for a coach. And it says 112 clubs eligible for coaching, of which 91 don't have any assigned. So we have a lot of clubs. And this is really, to be honest with you guys, this is almost the perfect time to latch on to a club coach opportunity, because a lot of these clubs are really close and may have just dropped down below 12 because of the membership, the membership that just the membership cycle here that just started in October. So this is a great opportunity to get latched on to a really good club that may have just gone through just a little bit of a blip in the system, and they got to get their membership up. And they're probably pretty good as far as getting them to distinguish. Remember, getting to distinguish means that they have to have a net 5 new members, or they have to be at 20 members to be qualified. And then, of course, they have to get their DCP points. They have to get at least 5 DCP goals, right?
Correct.
So
So they need to get to distinguished.
that's correct.
And usually that is the educational awards, for the most part, isn't the biggest obstacle. It is the membership.
That's correct. So again, you can take a look at each of the clubs, kind of get an idea of where they are in terms of membership, and you can look at them, look at their profile, see what time they meet. Like I just pulled up Lima. Well, let me see. How about Huffman Prairie Toastmasters Club? They're in Division A. They meet a Wednesday at 11:30. So you can go through here and see what time they meet, and if that's something that you are interested in, then it's open in your time frame. We would ask that you would call your area director, or the area director for that, or the division director, or David, so that we can make sure that we can make a good contact for you guys. Now, they do have the contact information in here. You're more than welcome to call them, but we really want to make sure there's a good fit.
That particular club requires base access.
Yeah, so that's another thing that David mentioned earlier, is that they may be corporate clubs and they may require special access, or they may meet at special times. So that's where you could find club coaches, where you can find mentors and sponsors. You can look on go into the district reports link, and this will throw you into a list of reports here that you can see some of the new clubs, some of the prospective clubs, and then you can take a look at some of the new sponsors and mentors. So you can take a look at this list here. These are already people who are acting in that role. And the nice, well, one of the things you have to make sure of is that you're assigned to a club sponsor and mentor as soon as possible around charter time frame. I think we have isn't there like 60 days? I think they have 60 days after charter date to be assigned as a sponsor or mentor.
Correct.
So you can't just, even though this club, let's say Toastmasters of All Abilities here, they chartered on 4/19, so it's a little bit too late to, well, actually they already have 2 mentors anyways, so you have
One of the biggest things.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say,
Yep.
One of the biggest things, ladies and gentlemen, even though you could see that, there are some clubs that aren't listed there as of yet. That's why I really would like for anyone who's interested in any of these roles to just shoot me an email. That way we can have a database of those individuals and we can match them up with any clubs that are looking for either one of those roles.
Right.
Again, we'll ask you specifically, are you able to do this during this time frame, and kind of go from there.
So hopefully that helps answer questions about how many or Well, Carol, you mentioned you're already a DTM. So if you're already a DTM in the old pathway or in the old education system, and you have a goal to become a DTM in the new pathways system, you're still going to need another club sponsor, coach or mentor credit in order to get that DTM in the pathways system. So, but you're always, we're service oriented here. So if you want to help out another club, and you're not too concerned about the credit towards DTM, and you still want to help, then please do email David directly, and we can get you plugged in to where is a good fit for you.
And for those who have reached out to me before, I do have your name. I don't want you to think that I don't. We're just in the process of trying to get these clubs to the point of viability, especially for those who are looking to be a club sponsor. Right now, most of the clubs are in the Cincinnati area, but as soon as we get some up in the Columbus area, Dayton area, or down in Kentucky or Charleston, I'll be reaching out to those who are interested in becoming a club sponsor. The minute that the clubs get ready to charter, then I'll start reaching out to those individuals who are looking to be a mentor. Are there any other questions?
I don't see.
Again,
I don't see anything else in the chat.
Okay. Again, I'd like to thank all of you who, let's see, I got on late. Is this familiar? Yes. I didn't see who asked that question, Scott.
Which one?
There was a question. Someone just said they arrived late and was asking about club coach.
Oh, okay. I see. I got in late. Does the fulfillment of the role of coach qualify for the DTM requirements? And that was from Imelda. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good question.
Yeah. It
currently,
does.
Yep. Currently, ladies and gentlemen, in the Legacy program, you have the option to be either a club coach, a club sponsor, a club mentor.
Yeah,
In the pathways, you have to be a club coach, and then you could either do club sponsor or club mentor. But in the Legacy, you can pick one of the three.
Yeah, that's an important distinction for pathways. So part of pathways, you have to be a club coach. Very interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out, especially on short notice. On behalf of the trio, we do thank everyone for all your support and all the good work that everyone is doing. Thank you for the understanding. I know that we had different programs or different sessions scheduled for today, but I decided to fill in and try to do this really quick to just draw up some interest for those individuals who are looking for one of these three roles. There'll be more webinar Wednesdays. Currently, the schedule should be pretty much correct. I encourage all of you to take advantage of any or all of the webinars that you can. It's only going to help you and make you a better Toastmaster. And with that, I'd like to thank Scott for all he did tonight. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
thank you again. Thank you again, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody. That'll conclude, and I'm going to disconnect.
Guys, thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
Take care, everybody.
Night.